CNN's Patrick Oppman is in Havana and joins us now. Patrick, this deal followed 18 months of negotiations. Clearly there are some very happy parties and some that are quite angry. A day after this deal, how much expectations is there that this deal will help boost the local economy there?
You know, there's a tremendous amount of expectations. People are really hoping this is perhaps a key moment in their lifetime that really will turn around things for the average Cuban, who, you know, we need to remind you, survives on about $20 a month. You know, barely gets by. It's a very poor country. So for people here, there is a tremendous hope and expectation that at some point a decision by a U.S. president, a Cuban president, well, will trickle down to them. You know, of course, the Cuban government is hopeful as well. You know, this deal comes at the moment when Cuba is very much concerned that it's going to receive less assistance from its most important ally, Venezuela, which of course is being hard rocked by the collapse of oil prices. So for Cuba, it's something of a pivot. But we'll just have to see if more tourists, more visitors coming from the United States, perhaps more business between Cuba and the United States leads to the kind of cash infusion that Cuba still needs. Of course, the embargo really isn't going anywhere. Some of the sting of the embargo has been taken away, but the embargo is expected to remain in place. And President Obama really said that a lot depends on the actions of the Cuban government in the days and weeks to come to see if more advances can be reached, or if there will be diplomatic relations, but not particularly friendly relations.
Now, President Obama hailed this a new chapter. Leaders have tried to address these relations in the past and have failed. How is President Obama perceived on the ground there?
You know, when he started his first term, you know, you would see Cubans walk around with T-shirts that Cubanos para Obama. You know, you'd never seen you know, any kind of T-shirt that said Cubans for a certain president. That would have been counter-revolutionary. But you have to think here, President Obama, of course, the first African-American president in the United States, very well received here in Cuba, where the majority of the population has some African descendancy. But then, you know, he made a few key changes towards Cuban policy. Then in 2009, Alan Gross was arrested, and really nothing of significance has happened until yesterday. So Cubans were very much disappointed, hoping President Obama would do more, and now they're quite surprised he's done as much as he has, really more than any president since the start of the revolution some 60 years ago.
And this deal also involved the exchange of prisoners. 3 spies from Cuba, from the US, were sent back to Cuba. What's been the reaction there? I imagine they've been quite welcomed.
Yes, although it's been somewhat low-key. You know, I know U.S. officials involved with the negotiations were concerned that if these 3 intelligence agents came back after serving lengthy prison terms, one had been sentenced to a double life sentence, so in essence he would never have left a federal prison in the United States if it hadn't been for this deal. And if they'd been received with you know, large crowds and really a party atmosphere here in Havana, it probably would have not been the image that the U.S. wanted. So I think U.S. officials were happy that although Cuban President Raul Castro greeted them at the airport, celebrations were fairly low-key.
All right there. Thank you very much. Patrick Oppman in Havana. Thank you.